Since then, Mark has become an executive communication coach and professional speaker. His message is focused on body language and influence with integrity for leaders. You can also catch up with Mark every week on his popular leadership podcast called Speak Brave, available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and SoundCloud. Please help me welcome to the lectern Mark Guy as he talks about growth with Toastmasters, growing with Toastmasters.
Thank you, Richard. Hello, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters. I hope you find value in this talk. And yes, I do remember that day, Richard. I do remember walking to Toastmasters 5 years ago when we were meeting at the airport. And I remember all these friendly people just hurrying around, trying to make sure that the meeting is going to start right away. And I do remember asking you with a straight face, Richard, what is my return on investment? And you handled yourself really well, and I joined the very next meeting. So thank you for being there for me and being a mentor for all those years. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I just have one question for you. Would you like to become a better speaker?
Yes.
No, just, okay, some of you or some of you will not, okay. And I appreciate this because I want to thank you for coming. It's 6:30 on Tuesday, and you have come to invest in yourself. At the end of this presentation, I have a promise. It's only 15 minutes, so we have limited time together. But my promise is this: if you listen well and follow along with everything that we're doing, you will have tools to become a better speaker, and you can apply it here at Toastmasters for everything that you do. Will that be okay with you? Okay. Yes? Yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think we need some coffee possibly. And I hear there's pizza coming.
Yes.
So yes, thank you for that, for the Toastmasters. That pizza is always good. You know that pizza makes everyone happy? And that's what I heard. So I hope that works for you as well. Okay. This presentation that I have is a speech that I'd like to share with you my part of the journey in Toastmasters. But I don't want to just come here and speak. I'd like to have a conversation with my audience where you can step in and offer your comments and maybe something, oh Mark, no, I just want to make sure I quickly say this and I'll address it. And I'll also cover everything that I have prepared. So will you participate if I ask you? Okay, maybe this guest session, maybe you think, oh Mark, I just came to listen. I don't want to participate. I have anxiety just sitting in the chair. Do you have anxiety sitting in the chair? No? No? Okay. No. This is Toastmasters. Why is he picking on me? Okay, I'm just going to come here to the guests. And, but you can participate, just jump right in, and we'll have fun, and we can learn together. Okay? All right. So how many people here outside of Toastmasters have been in Toastmasters or have ever heard anything about this interesting organization? You heard of it? Okay. Now, are you terrified of speaking? Just me?
Anxious.
Anxious? Okay. So what do you do when you're anxious? Okay, for example, you have a big speech next week, and you know that this speech is going to take you to the next level of your earning income potential. Maybe it's a speech in front of 200 people, business executives, and you know you have to be at your very best. How do you deal with anxiety? You don't go? You send somebody else? I don't know. I mean, you have to come up and give a speech, right? Well, I want to share with you that I've been in Toastmasters for 5 years, and anxiety and nervousness never really goes away. It's always there, but it's the energy you can expand and share with your audience. I'll share with you the 2 mistakes all the beginning speakers make. Because you came, it was only going to give you 1, but you came, so I'll give you 2. It's a bonus. I like to give more. Number 1 mistake is this. As a speaker, sometimes we focus on ourselves. We think, okay, is my suit looking okay? Is my hair looking okay? Did I shave today? Are they going to think of me? What about my accent? What are they going to think about that? Did I stumble? Am I going to pick my nose? No? You get afraid like that? Okay. A lot of times we live very close inside our own head and we focus on ourselves. And that's one of the biggest mistakes. If you want to be more persuasive and influential speaker, focus on the audience. Focus on the people who are in the audience listening to you. Because I believe all public speaking is an energy exchange. It's an energy exchange between you and the audience. Whatever you bring to the audience, The audience wants you to succeed. The audience wants you to elevate and share that message. So if you focus on yourself, you will be effective, but not as effective as you could be. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two, all the public speakers make is we don't honor the pause. How many people here are afraid of stopping in the middle of the conversation, public speaking, and pausing? Well, I can do this because, I'm a speaker and I can look at everyone and pause. But does it make you uncomfortable? In your own head, you're thinking, my goodness, this 1 second, it just grows into eternity. I don't know, what are the people thinking about me? But I want to assure you, when you pause, you create impact. One of the things that I have learned in my speeches is I talk about emotional intelligence and body language. And one of the statistics that I use is this. In the United States, we only listen for 37 seconds in a conversation. That's according to Dr. Gary Chapman, who wrote 5 Love Languages out of Chicago. 37 seconds. You see, you pause, you don't rush through it, and you allow the audience to catch up with it. When you have a conversation with someone, I know this gentleman right here, Ted, and can I pick on you a little bit?
Please.
You came here in the front, so you must open yourself and be vulnerable.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for coming, by the way. Ted, how are you today?
I'm
No, I don't want to hear it. How old are you?
Oh,
Okay, I don't want to hear it. You see, I'm sorry about that. I hope we can still be friends. When, for example, you ask a question of someone, you step over their thoughts, and you don't allow the question to really sink in and for audience to feel it. But when you pause, you frame that question, and you create clarity. And people in your audience will absorb it much more. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yes? You seem a little dubious.
Sure.
Sure, okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right,
Absolutely.
so number one is get out of your own head, get out of your own way. Second, pause. One of the things I want to share with you as well is if you want to craft a speech or a message that sticks, and you may want to write this down. It's very simple. It's acronym, and it's called SUCCESS. SUCCES. Drop just one S. How many people have heard about this before? Okay. Phyllis, John. Okay. It comes from Dan and Cherokee. Number one, S. If you have a message and you want to make sure it sticks, make sure it's simple, uncomplicated. What is one message that you want to impress upon your audience? You don't want to impress them, but you want to impress upon. What is that one message? And a lot of times, when I coach speakers and executives, there's a lot going on. And there's a lot of details, a lot of processes, and what we do, we write everything down. And we go through the message, we go through the title, and we find one message that is the most important. And that's the message that we want to communicate every time you speak. Because you hang on different messages, and people get confused. Did you ever hear this? Confused mind says no, and clear mind says go. Just one message. You, in success, is unexpected. A lot of times you want to create curiosity. You want to break the pattern. You want to have a twist. According to Carmine Gallo, who wrote the book, Talk Like Ted, brain craves novelty. We're always looking for the next best thing. What is it that you're going to bring? Is that maybe part of your personality? Maybe it's a prop, something unexpected. And it also works in humor. When you break the pattern and you change the expectations, you create curiosity, and people will travel with you. So S-U-C. C is credible. Are you a credible person to speak on this topic? Is this something you believe in? What I have found is if it's a topic or project or information that you don't believe in, that incongruence will leak out of your body. And people will think, he says one thing, but I feel something else. And you're not credible. And your credibility is very important. What gives you the credibility to come and speak in front of the people? Second is concrete. What is the concrete message that you have in your mind? And a lot of times, human brain cannot absorb too many abstracts. We like things that are specific. Specificity builds credibility. Whatever the message you're crafting, make sure it's specific, credible, unexpected, simple. The next one is E, emotional. How many people believe that if you really want to make an impact on someone's life and move people with integrity and influence them, that you must learn how to move them emotionally? Just me? A few others?
I'm here too.
You hear it as well? Because that's how we are. We have to find congruence and move people emotionally. A few years ago, I wrote a speech. And that speech was about speaking, about finding courage, not being afraid, not to shrink down. And inside that speech, I wrote a line. And that line resonated with me very deeply. And that line goes like this. At the end of your life, if you always go back, if you always remain quiet, and you always step back into the shadows, one day, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror, and all you see is just a patchwork of moments of silence sewn together with fear. You write your speeches in emotional language if you want to move people to the different plane of understanding. Because that's the only way that we can break through the attention deficit that we have in our life now. Because who is your competition as a speaker? You, but also YouTube, your phone, Snapchat, Instagram.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Attention is moving so fast. And if you don't grab people in the first 7 seconds, it's very difficult for you to catch up. So emotional language moves people. And finally, stories. Did you know that Aristotle said, whoever tells the stories rules the world? A lot of times, and I know Amy have heard this before, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Stories, if you want to influence people and make sure your message stick, you tell stories. And not just story, a story well told will go deep into your subconscious and move you to action. I can tell you all the statistics, how to give speeches, but if I don't tell you stories, it's very difficult for you to take action. A lot of times what I have seen with my clients is that we discount and we devalue our stories. We feel that, oh, nobody wants to hear from me. Or better yet, I have nothing to offer. But let me tell you, you do have something to offer. The stories that you have living inside of you must come out. You have buried treasures inside your soul, and speaking allows you to engage. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Did I give you a lot of information?
Tons.
I'm going very fast because I only have limited time. But I promise you, if you invest in yourself and become a member of Toastmasters, Winter Haven, you can take your skills of persuasion and communication to the next level. Believe it or not, 5 years ago, I was terrified. There's a session and part in Toastmasters where we have a table topics. Table topics is a session where we ask participants and members to speak impromptu. Do you think that life is one big impromptu game?
Yes.
Like one big life of improv? Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, finally! I agree with you on something. Thank you so much. It's a tough audience. You know what? Tough audience is the best teacher. So you got to get out to the tough audience and make sure you push through. Life is one big improv game. The way I see it, you ask somebody on a date. You want to ask for a raise. You want to negotiate with your spouse. Something I said, she's mad. I don't know why she's mad, but I have to figure it out. And you have to come up and quickly, have, I'm not looking at the married people here, so. So, you know what it is, right? In this Toastmasters club and every other, we have impromptu table topics where a leader will say, okay, this is my question, could you please answer it? And what forces you to do, it pushes you to the edge of your ability. You dig deep inside, and you have 1 minute to answer a question. You don't have to answer it precisely. You can deflect and say it in any way you want. Do we have a table topic session?
Yes.
Okay. How many of the guests will participate? Okay. Yes, you came to Toastmasters. Make us, yes? Yes and yes. Yeah. Okay, very good. A lot of techniques I say yes, but when you say yes and yes, boom, you have to do it now. Every time you take a step outside of your comfort zone, you grow. And with that little step, next thing you know, You gonna, like, sir, what is your business? Are you in business for yourself or for somebody else? Do you mind if I have a conversation
Sure.
with you?
No, I work for a company.
You work for a company,
A
okay.
retailer.
Retail. What are your reasons for coming here?
To better myself,
To
to
better
get
yourself.
comfortable in situations like this.
Okay, do you speak a lot for a living
No.
in front of a situation? Would you like to get better?
Sure.
Okay, will you join Toastmasters?
That's the intent.
Okay, I hope you do. I hope you find value. I hope you find nurturing, supportive program here in Winter Haven because we really do care. When you invest in yourself, you become a better writer, better speaker, better business person, a better person because you are equipped to see whatever life throws at you. And I'm sorry, I didn't want to pick on you, but you seem like you're smiling, and when you smile, you correspond with me and say, okay, I want to talk to you. So thank you. I hope you have a good time. The final thing I'd like to offer you is, I think my time is up because this is a sneak peek.
Yes.
We cannot teach you everything we know in 15 minutes. So this is our hook and our invitation to come, join Toastmasters, enjoy, have questions from myself, other veteran Toastmasters, and learn. Invest in yourself. There's magic in learning to be a public speaker. Do you have it? Thank you.